expressed on this podcast are that of the host and may not coincide with your own. This topic may scare you. For your listening enjoyment, turn off all the lights in the home and sit in complete silence. Don't be scared if you're touched. Lastly, the paranormal talk is explicit and your virgin mind is about to get paranormalized. Let's get the show started.
Welcome to the Dark Horde podcast. For fuck's sake, the music's still out still. It's been a while. It's been since the middle of July since we had the last Dark Horde podcast, and I've been planning to get the Dark Horde podcast back on video, and it will happen the 21st. We'll have the Sagittarius Witch here with us. We're gonna do some tarot readings. We're gonna talk about shit as it happens, and who knows? Bring in some crystals, bath salts, I don't know. Whatever it works in order to get this paranormal stuff buzzing. We're in August now. Middle of August. We are about 2.5 months away from All Hallows Eve. So, let's get warmed up is basically what I'm trying to do here. So, fantastic. We got some stories and some news to share. Especially something that I've thought about doing for some time, and I actually did, but not the way these people did it. So we'll talk about that and how careful you really have to be when you're out there doing your little ghost haunting. Not haunting, hunting. Everything's freaking haunting, right? Yeah, you really do. You can't be careless. You gotta be well equipped. You gotta be able to see where the fuck you're going, because you might end up being one of the ghosts of the place. You might be the one haunting this thing for the next several thousand years just because you fucked up. Plain and simple. Along with that, there is a Forrest out in Massachusetts. There was a news article, actually came from a radio station, so they published it on their website. And the question was whether or not this place was really haunted. But wait till you hear the name of the place. My thing is, unless it's called Unicorn Valley or Gumdrop Springs, what else could we call it? Ponytail Palace. Unless it's something like that, and the name is somewhat ominous, guess what? This shit's fucking haunted. Stop fucking around. Yeah, and the funny thing is that people always want to question whether or not something is haunted, and then when they tell the story of all the shit that goes down, well, you kind of sit there just dumbfounded. Like, how the fuck do you even ask that question? Where have you been? Just bananas. Completely bananas. Well, listen, I look forward to at least getting 2 episodes a month in of the Dark Horde, and eventually, since we're going to go back to video, and, have no fear. The audio will still be played here wherever you're listening to the Dark Horde. The only difference is you're not going to be able to see. You're not going to be able to see the people. You're not going to be able to see the tarot cards, the crystals. Hell, if we have someone do a full-on exorcism, you're going to miss it out because you're not on video. It's really easy to get on video. Just go to youtube.com. Plain and simple. As a matter of fact, look in the description right now, go to that channel, and then subscribe. That way you don't miss out. And on the weekends when you're sitting around doing nothing, you can catch the Sagittarius Witch reading the tarot card, telling us our future, and probably even sharing shit you really, or hell, we really don't want anyone to know. The funny thing about her is that she also kind of reads pets. And probably about the second time that I talked to her, she read Bugs the UFO Hunter. He's a Boston Terrier. And man, did she get it on the money. Like literally. I was like shocked and amazed, to be honest. I couldn't believe that she was able to read him from where she's at. Nuts. So we'll see if she brings some of that action. A lot of times I think too that when you put someone like that on the spot, unless they're like someone that does it for a living, they're always out there in front of a camera or being interviewed and stuff like that. I think they lose connection with their skills too. Like I've seen that in some psychics. Like they lose that connection, and they'll tell you, "Oh, I'm hearing something in my head," and really that they may not. It might be all like garbled up noise from the other side that they're barely picking up on. But it is what it is. We, of course, look forward to having more psychics on here of all walks of life, and hopefully, by the time we hit the end of the year, we can have a kind of like a revolving door of guests on the YouTubes that can school us in all things paranormal. Now, the one thing I like about this podcast is we still have the old songs that I haven't played in forever. So, hell, let's go ahead and get one started. And then we'll get to the first article right about now. By the way, I want to say what's up to the guys who are here live with me right now on Spreaker.com, and that is Green Man and Dave from Down Under. I don't even think they have ghosts and evil spirits in Australia. They just got really buff kangaroos. I think that's what it is. They don't even have paranormal stuff, right, Dave? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I guess. But only the emissary from Australia can set us straight. This is the story that really drives me insane. So early on, when I first started the Dark Horde podcast, and actually the Dark Horde network, my idea was I would go to places, like literally here in San Antonio, Texas. I would go to places, my plan was to go in. If there was it chained up, I climbed the fence like damn Spider-Man. I get in there with all my equipment and stay there in the middle of the night. Now, not one time when I'm thinking about this, does the place look like it's a nice, bright, shiny day? All the blue jays are out, the cardinals they're all singing. It's always a really dreary day. It's raining. It's dark. It's thunder in the background, and it's cold as hell. But there I am, struggling actually to get over the fence. My pants rip on the way over. And I've got all my equipment. I dropped some of the shit in the mud. But I'm determined. I'm determined to make it to my haunting, to investigate it. And then you get there and the fucking place is dilapidated. Cold, like the freaking wind is howling through it. But that's how I picture every ghost hunt. That's the way it should go. It should be a nasty ass fucking day. Lightning, thunder, cold as hell. Your equipment's all nasty. And then you get in there. You're freezing your ass off. And you sit there waiting. Just waiting to be touched by the other side. 2, 3 in the morning. Something just lightly caresses your bottom. And then you get the fuck right out of there. I'll be gone. I'll be honest with you. One touch is all it takes, and I'm done. Put the camera down. I'd leave it behind. Run my ass back over the fence, and I'm out of there. However, we apparently had a couple of folks up in New York that went ghost hunting. And the place they went into was a train station. This train station ran up in Buffalo, New York for almost 40 years. And actually, if you get it's weird, it says more than 40 years, but the numbers, 1929 to 1979, it almost sounds like 50 years. I don't know who wrote this article, but it is what it is. It's on yahoo.com, so you know what's going down. The title of this article is Ghost Hunter Plunges 20 Feet Searching for Paranormal Activity in an Abandoned New York Substation. These guys literally went into a substation that was abandoned. They didn't tell anybody. Nobody knew. Okay, let's be honest. If you're going to do some ghost hunting, you can't really tell everyone all the damn time. Sometimes you got to go out there like Indiana Jones. You got to be ready to accept that you're going to have to scale something or break in through a window or something because maybe the city's not responding or maybe the person that owns the place is out of town, but you need to get your film in. This is what these guys did. They broke into this damn thing. And this actually was last Saturday, I believe, from the date of this article. I mean, hell, who knows, right? So a 35-year-old was actually out there, and she was kind of searching the building for signs of paranormal activity. The building is the Buffalo Central Terminal in Buffalo, New York. And she took a wrong step. She fell 20 feet. This is where ghost hunting meets, hashtag fuck my life. I could become part of the excitement for this property. It literally does. She apparently wasn't identified on Saturday when this article came out, but she was taken to a local hospital, and being treated for multiple injuries. You fall 20 feet, while you don't even expect it, your ass is going to be injured. And that's an abandoned place, so there's shit everywhere. You know, there could be freaking wooden planks everywhere. There could be bricks laying around, old bottles. You know, because some people in the transit authority, they like getting drunk. Old beer cans, you know, shit like that. You never know what went down during that time frame from 29 to 79. They could have been partying all day at the damn substation. That's why they always had accidents. I'm just making that up. But, you know, the thing is, she was not alone. She was also joined by a gentleman who was also on a ghost hunt, but was not injured, according to the Huffington Post, because he basically was just like, they were both walking in the dark, you know, and then he's like, Jane. There's Jane. Oh, poor Jane. Let me hear that again, Jane. Right, and splat. Jane came pretty close to becoming part of the history of that substation as one of the lost souls that was haunting the place. She almost joined them. So sad. And I don't know if her name is Jane. They kind of kept it from the article. Now, it turns out that the Transit Authority is not going to consider, well, at the time that this article ran, which is like on Sunday, filing any charges against these two. You know, you figure that the fall would be enough anyway, right? I mean, that'll teach you a lesson, to be honest. The building itself has all these Art Deco from the 1920s, and it actually, after the last train went through, it kind of, you know, fell into disrepair. It was abandoned, basically. In recent years, there was an effort to refurbish it, and there was even some ghost hunting happening. And, you know, lucky for us, the TV show Ghost Hunters also filmed at the terminal a few times. And this is what it is, right? You know, you get your amateur ghost hunters, and they see, you know, the famous ghost hunters on TV go, so they're like, oh, fuck it, it's right down the street. Let's just go. I mean, I think it was a good idea. You know, and then they go in there, and then that happens. What can you do? But, you know, it's a lesson for everyone to learn, because, to be honest, it is, you're going in there to a place that's completely dark. There basically is no power. And again, it's in disrepair, so there are holes in the floor that you can fall through. Shit can shift and fall at any time. And there's also, you know, the vermin. You got the big-ass New York City rats and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of shit that can happen to you in one of these buildings. And unfortunately for this young lady, it was a 20-foot fall that almost cost her life. According to accounts for this place, many who experienced ghosts there say that it was a highly emotional place. So who knows? I mean, the story is kind of short because it just happened, but what if something was happening to her the time that she fell? Or maybe something might have tried to warn her. She wasn't listening. It is said that the substation had a bit of a tragic history. It almost had a tragic current event. Some of the things that happened at the substation was that a lot of soldiers from World War II, their bodies were actually shipped back home and collected at the station's baggage claim by loved ones. Isn't that fucked up? Perfect place to go, you know, spelunking in the middle of the damn night, trying to catch a ghost. That's the article. There's a little bit more to it if you want to find out specifically what's going on, why they were there, a little bit more about the history of this 50-year-old substation in Buffalo, New York. And hey, if you know about the place and you've had some experiences there, why don't you hit us up or join the Discord and let us know if you felt something while you were there, or if you know of someone that actually worked there back in the day. Check this out.
I've been wasting my time. I don't know why I can't get you out my mind. And if I find a way to get it, when I do it, I can live it and forget it. Cause I hate how much I love you, or I hate how you just put me in my feelings. I just wish you understood the gravity, but you got low sinners. I guess it's better just to live it and forget it than to live it and remember. I've been wasting my time. I don't know why I can't get you out my mind. Yeah, now I'm so lost, where do I go? I was in the chase, caught a flat on road. It was all love, X no O. I was feeling rich, but we turned out broke. North Pole, life so cold. Lukewarm love, should've took it to the stove. You were bad news, all kind, no pro. We grew apart fast. I guess we was reaping what we sowed in. I guess we was unequally yoked in. Guess if we was putting on the shoulder, guess we should've tried to take it slow then. Guess I let my feelings take control. Guess I let my demon take the wheel. Used to think that we be growing older. Now I can't believe that it was real. It was back in late December when I did it. I just wish I could forget it. Cause I hate how much I love it, or I hate how I just love to catch a feeling. Told me that you understood the gravity, but now I know you didn't. I guess it's better just to live it and forget it than to live it and remember. If I find a way to get it, when I do it, I can live it and forget it. Cause I hate how much I love you, or I hate how you just put me in my feelings. I just wish you understood the gravity, but you got lower sinners.
The next story comes way of Adam Baum. Now he wasn't in the story, but I think it was like next last Thursday, sometime last week. He's like, "Hey, have you ever covered or considering the elevator game?" Just like, elevator game? What the hell is that? So I had to look it up. The elevator game is a little creepy, and quickly it ran through my mind that maybe someone like that joins the Dark Horde Live, maybe one of the Asgardians, would be interested in actually trying the elevator game by video. Now you'd have to have a pretty good signal, right? And the building must be at least 10 floors in height. The elevator game actually came forward in recent years when the Cecil Hotel tragic case of Elisa Lam came to light. Now, there was actually a Netflix special on this. I don't know how many people saw it. I saw it myself. And there's some video footage from the elevator where she was just acting really strange. In that video, it seemed like she was speaking to someone off camera, or concerned about someone that's off camera. Needless to say, her body was found in one of the hotel's water tanks. Now, when the authorities actually saw the actual video of Elisa Lam, of course, they were thinking it's foul play. Someone did something to Elisa Lam, and she was kind of frightened or trying to figure out how to handle it. But another side of this story came through in a different kind of conspiracy theory. And that is that folks were saying that her behavior was something reminiscent of the elevator game. Apparently, the elevator game was originated back in Korea. However, some people say it might have originated in a different country. But the idea is that you get into a 10-floor building. Has to be at least 10 floors. It could be more, cannot be less. The idea is that you're going to enter a set of floors in a specific order, and one of two things is going to happen. Now, it has to be done at a time where there's like no traffic in the building. So, you know what happens, right? You're going to have to do this, more than likely when the so-called veil is a little bit thinner. You're going to have to do this about between 1 and 3 in the morning, and it's going to be scary as shit. I'll be honest with you. So here's how it goes. You get in on the first floor of the elevator, and you're going to press the floors in a specific order. So you get in on 1, you're going to go to 4, to 2, to 6, to 2, 10, and then 5. 5 is where the shit hits the fan, more than likely. When you're on the 5th floor, the conspiracy is that if the door opens and you meet a mysterious woman, you're not to look at her, you're not to speak to her, because allegedly she's not human. What you should do is press the button to get back to the first floor and get the hell out. If you speak to her, if you look at her, you're done. It's over. And I'm not saying your elevator ride is over. You're not going back home. The other thing that could happen is you get to the 5th floor, no one gets on, and the elevator then goes up to the 10th floor. If this happens, if the elevator on its own goes up to the 10th floor after the 5th, the ritual worked. The doors will open into another dimension. In that dimension, it'll look similar to the hotel or the building that you're in, but it'll be completely empty. Rumor is your electronics would stop working. The 10th floor may be completely in the dark. But once you find yourself in that dimension, you may want to return back to your own dimension. And the funny thing is that you have to do the ritual one more time. You have to do the elevator floors in that same order: 4, 2, 6, 2, 10, 5. The theory is that if you get off before that number sequence of floors is completed, you will not come back to your own dimension. You will be stuck in whatever dimension you're in that you encountered on the 10th floor. Now, I figured this is a great thing to do on a live, YouTube. It's, I'm sure someone's done it already, right? I'm gonna have to look. We might not be the first ones to try it live on YouTube, but still, it will be exciting to experience it, because I could imagine if when you get to the 5th floor, If the old lady from 5C decides that she's going to take a 1 in the morning stroll with her chihuahua, and she walks in through that door, you're going to shit your pants. You're going to freak out. And merely she's just trying to walk her little chihuahua. The biggest thing about this is you have to do it at a time where either no one has access to the building, and you can ensure that your elevator stops will not be interrupted, or you have to do it at a time of night where most of the tenants are asleep, nestled in their beds, snoring away, and won't be able to interfere with your interdimensional experiment. Now, I'm not one to go half-assed in trying these kind of things, because there's always truth to some of this. Something is bound to happen, but the only way to find out is to get a volunteer. So if you know someone that either manages a 10th floor building or more, or someone that has access to a 10th floor building or more, please let them know. We would love to have them live on the Dark Horde podcast on YouTube. And we'll be there in step, walking with them, hanging out in the elevator as this goes down. Now, the one thing that they say is, in order for this to work, you cannot have a second traveler in the elevator. So you can't, say, oh yeah, I'm going to do it. And then you bring your mama and your dada. You bring your cousin. You know what I mean? Your second cousin far removed from the left, right, left, up, down, down. No. You have to do it alone. You, your cell phone, and YouTube, and us. So if you're willing to put your interdimensional aspirations on the line for this experiment, let me know. Hit me up. I would love to have you on taking on this challenge, the elevator game. I'm just saying. I'm sure it's exciting for someone. Might not be you.
Got me feeling like a drop in the sand. psychopath. When you're lost, take your trust. That's me. That's so sick. I'm a fraud, call me a liar. A true psycho. Ooh, I'm a fraud, call me a liar. A true psychopath, don't love me. When you're lost, take your trust. Yeah, that's me. Oh, that's me, that's me, that's me. Yes, I'm a fraud. Call me a liar. A true psychopath. True
Welcome to Story Time with Manny. Now, I got this article, right? And it's not surprising that this happened at this particular place, but still. But let me share with you some of my own experience, right? Because I grew up in the Bronx, in New York. And there comes a time in your life, especially in the big city, where your parents are like, all right, just get the fuck out of here. Just go. Try to get you the hell out the house. And, so your cousins and everyone, we're all about the same age, and there's local theaters and stuff like that. They're playing Star Wars or E.T. or Close Encounters or some shit like that. And so we're old now, right? Which we're not. Like, I wouldn't let my kids go out at the age I did, but still. And so you're in the theater, you feel brave, right? You're with your cousins, your family, your sister, your brother, your mama. Well, not your mom, because she's at the casino somewhere. And so you're in there, you're enjoying the movie, even though it's dark. There's something about the Bronx where, back then, it's probably the same now, right? Like, the rats are on steroids. Like, the rats were bigger than most dogs. And there was one time, it only took one time, at these two theaters. These theaters, from the outside, did not look like theaters. The only way that you knew it was a theater was they might have had some posters up on the outside. And you did smell popcorn, but it was like 8 days old. And they did have candy. I remember them having candy, like Junior Mints and Raisinets and shit like that, which I used to go for the Raisinets. But there was one time where we're sitting there watching a movie, and the screen got really fucking bright, and the biggest fucking rat is crawling up and down the aisles. Never went back to that fucking theater again. I'll be honest with you, I would not go back. But those are kind of things that you see crawling around at night. I mean, it makes your skin fucking crawl. Right? It puts you on edge. So, last week I went to the theater to watch that, what's that Marvel movie, Black Widow. Brand new spanking theater. They serve food, all that good stuff. And really fancy. You can lay back in the damn chairs. Literally almost flat. Like, who would want to do that in a theater? I don't get it. But I heard one sound, and it took me back to the Bronx Rats. And then from that point on, I was on edge. I'm like, this damn place has been closed the whole time of COVID, and these damn rats have been in here just, getting big, getting large, and all the food that was left here. Yeah, that's what stuck with me the whole time. But we got an article about something that's just a little bit more than just rats. There's something from the other side at a local movie theater. The Violet Crown Cinema Theater 10 apparently is haunted. I believe this... let me see, where is this place at? Because I thought it was like Massachusetts or something. God, for the love of Pete. Of course it doesn't say it. But, I'm sure you know. Like, I've never heard of this theater chain. But, yeah, it's haunted. According to the general manager of this cinema, they actually heard a woman screaming at the top of her lungs. Probably not like that, but maybe more like this. That's when you get the fuck out. Like, you literally don't even think twice. I don't. Intermission, no. The end credit scenes, get the hell out. Don't even stay in there. It's ridiculous for you to think that. The theater itself was open to the public in 2015, and as soon as it opened, there were rumors among the staff that theater number 10 has some shit going down in it. And it didn't stop from the opening. It continued on till today. Victoria Webb, who is the general manager, says she's experienced paranormal things in Theater 10 for a good 3 to 4 years. She says, one of my co-workers and I were the last two in the building. We had just done a theater check. And I'm not gonna lie, like at that rat theater in the Bronx, for fuck's sake, I'll do a theater check. I'll just leave. Let them have all the freaking raisinets. I don't care. They're probably leaving some behind anyway. She says, nobody was in the building. It made my heart stop for a minute. And it came from Theater 10. A ghostly scream. I'm not messing around. Listen, I would quit my job, to be honest. There's no reason for me to work there. I'm good. I will go to the local supermarket, spend my time there, especially if it's 24 hours. I don't gotta worry about like closing the place when it's empty. I'm good. I'm good. But it didn't stop there. Apparently there was an usher by the name of Camille Baca. She said she was actually in there. She was doing some, tidying up, making sure no rats feed on the fallen popcorn and candy. And she had one earbud in her ear, listening to music while she cleaned up. All of a sudden, she got chills. Then something whispered in her ear, go away. I'm gone. Like, I'm literally gone. I put that second earbud in, and I go clock out, and I leave. Plain and simple. But Camille is not the only one. Miles Devensty, another usher, said he was in there in Theater 10 cleaning up, and something hissed at him. He says no one ever believed him, but the hiss was so loud, it scared them. It was like a jump scare. And he had some water in his hand and he spilled it everywhere. Again, I hope you quit your job. Put in workman's comp for the water falling on you and get unemployment, Miles. There's no need for you to go back. Write that down. I wouldn't do it. Not one bit. Other noises they've been hearing, allegedly from ghosts. Staffers have been reporting things from auditory to sudden drops in temperature. Like, I would avoid this theater with, like the plague. I don't even care about theaters 1 through 9. Fuck them too. I'll go to a different theater. Where's AMC at? Another individual says, hey, you can actually go in there and you literally will feel a presence. One staffer said that when she goes in, she acknowledges the ghost, even says hi, and continues what she's doing, but still feeling like she's not alone. Is there no other jobs over there? Wherever the hell this is? Really, get another job. Just forget about this. Honestly, they should really close down Theater 10. It's too damn scary to go in there. I mean, I thought my rats were bad. Holy shit. This is bananas. About 10 to 15 people have related their run-ins with ghosts at Theater 10 to the staff. So it's not just the people that work there. Customers are feeling the wrath of the ghosts as well, getting all feely and touchy like when the lights go dim. This is one of those places where you kind of wonder what was there before, because it's a brand new theater, so chances are there is something attached to the land it's built on, and it would be fascinating to know what was there. Maybe a clinic, small hospital, an insane asylum. Those are always great, especially during movie time. There's more to the story in the description. Maybe you can figure out where the hell this damn theater is. I thought it was either around the west side or northeast. It's one of those. Who fucking knows? Like I said, I've never heard of the theater chain, but I'm sure some of you listening right now have. So enjoy the frights. I mean, it's perfect for Halloween, right? But the rest of the time, the other 11 months, for fuck's sake, we don't need that kind of stuff. Let's be honest about that.
I could give you
This next story, I came across a different story altogether, right? And the story was asking, it is the craziest shit, right? It's a radio station that had this article up. And the article was asking if folks thought that the Blood Forest was haunted. Do you think the Blood Forest is haunted? For fuck's sake, it's not the Jelly Bean Valley, right? It's not the unicorn forest. It's nothing like that. It is the blood forest. There's got to be something fucked up about it, right? Why would you call it the blood forest? I'm thinking, listen, you're being silly. Maybe there's an orchard of blood oranges. That's why they call it the blood forest. No, that's not the case either. The blood forest and also the blood town forest is located in Lancaster. For you guys that want to head up to Massachusetts, go to Lancaster. Have yourself a damn good time. Legend says, Bugs knows, legend says that a young man and a woman were actually camping in the forest and they were murdered. That's a big ass fucking forest. Like, an entire forest cannot be haunted just because of two people. Let me just throw that out there. Apparently there's a rock near the entrance of the forest that tells the story. There was a picture of it too, but I couldn't download it, so there you go. Look for the Blood Forest rock and see if you come up with pictures of it, because I saw one. But the townsfolk say this may or may not be a true story. They may or may not have died. Maybe one died and not the other. Maybe one died, one was resuscitated. Nobody knows if it's a true story. But what we do know is that the land for the Blood Forest was donated in 1946 by a gentleman by the name of Arthur W. Blood. Again, who the fuck has the last name of Blood? I've never seen this before. I haven't. Not once. It's like saying someone has the last name of VD. You know? Peter W. VD. Does this really happen? I don't know. How many people out there are named Blood? I've never known one, just to be honest. But there were rumors that Blood, or Mr. Blood if you're nasty, was mentally unstable and a killer. So going back to that radio station, we had a question that was asking, hey, do you think the Blood Forest is haunted? Did you not read the history of the fucking place? But, you know, maybe that's not enough. Just because a guy was an alleged killer and his last name was Blood doesn't mean shit. Doesn't mean anything at all. You know, just because you have a friend who's a little wacky and his middle name is Serial, last name Killer, doesn't mean there's a problem there. I'm just saying. There are also stories that Mr. Blood like killing people and hanging their bodies from the trees all throughout the forest. Nothing wrong with that. No way that place is haunted. Rumors are that at night you can hear screams of phantoms and ghosts all through the woods. Could be Bigfoot getting it on. Doesn't mean it's ghostly ghouls. Nope, not at all. Then on his website, someone that lives in the town actually, started posting stories about things that they experienced back in the 70s. Yet again, if the whole fucking town is fucked up, surrounded by a crazy ass forest, move out. Just go on your way. Find yourself somewhere else safe to live, because apparently you can't even go to the park around this area. It's bad for your health and your life. So this person goes on explaining that in the 70s, they were out with two friends in the late afternoon. And, you know, they're just minding their own business, got nothing better to do. Because you're in the 70s, if you have nothing to do, you just don't go out and do some crime. Like it happens now, right? You just go wilding and then beat somebody up. In the 70s, it was like, oh, I got nothing to do. You sit down with your bell bottoms and catch a breeze. But they heard rumors about screams and sights from other folks that they wanted to go see for themselves. So they took off and they went into the park. The individual claims that they have the ability to see spirits. It always kind of makes me smile on the inside, because whenever I hear someone say, I can see spirits, I always feel like they're thumping their chest, or they say it like they're a superhero. Basically, they got this extra ability. But the individual says that they figured out their friends didn't have this ability because while they were walking through the park, all they could see was bloody limbs in the trees. But they stayed quiet. They didn't say a word because they were hoping someone else would see it. While they were walking, the three friends, this individual could hear muffled voices. Many of the muffled voices were coming from the direction of the old home that belonged to Mr. Blood. You know, it sucks being the only person in the group with abilities because you get the extra experience. Everybody else just goes on like nothing ever happened. But that's nuts, right? So, to you guys at the radio station, yes, it's fucking haunted. What the hell? The individual continued to relay a lot of the stories and experiences that they've had in the town. One particular story was about a girl that was seen on a house on Goss Lane. The individual lived in that house for 10 years. The girl walked around dressed in pilgrim clothing. She saw the individual right in front of her, or him, in their basement. Later found out that Mary Rowlandson was kidnapped and was walked along the same path from their garrison on Main Street next to the Yellow Symphony Building in 1676 to the top of the hill where there was a blue water tower. Apparently, Mary Rowland was the individual in the pilgrim suit or dress that they kept on seeing in the basement of their house. They got this information from a book that Mary Rowlandson actually wrote in 1710. The whole ordeal. She says other people in the house, there's other people that live at the house now, and they see ghosts walking around the basement. And they believe is that because that is the actual land that the individual lived on, that is why the ghost is in their house now. Most people believe that the actual area is a portal for spirits, and they follow a path. This person's grandson and son both saw a dark shadow running between them in the middle of the day. This occurred when the youngest grandson, who was 6 at the time, started screaming about the shadow man. And when the son and this individual converged, the shadow man actually ran in between them. I mean, that's some scary shit. It's time to leave, folks. Time to leave. The house cannot be that great to begin with. Find yourself a new home builder, someplace where the land's not freaking fucked up and haunted. Thanks a lot, Mr. Blood. Now, many think that the energy that's there is not necessarily that of Mr. Blood, but more of the Native American Indians. The shadow man that ran through them, the person thought that they felt that that was a Native American Indian soul that was enraged. This is nuts. So if anyone says to you, "Hey, the Blood Forest is it haunted?" Fuck yes. I mean, there's plenty of history to tell you there are problems here at the Blood Forest, and also what is that? The name of the town, Bloodtown Forest. No, in Lancaster, forget about it. Not moving there, not relocating. I don't care if the job's great. Don't want to live there. There's a lot more about the craziness that happened in this particular neck of the woods, if you will. The bloody one. Okay, and some more experiences that this individual actually went in there and posted. Now, you might think that they're posting this from, 10, 12 years ago. It was April of this year that this individual felt the need to share the stories of the Blood Forest and the neighborhood that they live in. Because it's an ongoing thing. Again, I don't understand why people would stay in places like that. It's time to move on. Now, you'll get those fancy people who say, "Hey, you need to help them cross over." For fuck's sake, no, I don't. Let the next guy do it. I'm out of there. I'm done with his haunting. That's the end of the podcast today. Listen, don't forget to join us the 21st of August. Around 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, we'll have the Sagittarius Witch. I'm sure we have many of the regulars on there also, having some tarot card readings. We'll talk about all things that come to mind. And who knows? We might learn something new, something great, and something amazing that you may need to hear from our guest. Until then, thank you for listening. We'll check you guys out on 21st. Ciao, farewell, goodbye.